Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear quick, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving the grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. I'm your host, Matt Clark, and today it is, what day is this? Wednesday. Man, I mean, this month is flying by. Enjoying myself thoroughly this month. Had a good Christmas. Got to talk to my little dude. He woke me up early on Christmas morning. Talking about little G, Jaden. Called me bright and early. Of course, Santa showed me all the stuff that he had got at his mom's boyfriend's house the night before from this family. He got a haul, and then of course he's got his stuff that his mom gave him, of course stuff I've gave him, stuff that her parents gave him and family gave him. So he made a nice haul. But of course he's the first grandchild, so you know what to expect and what's going to happen when the other ones come around and his load starts dwindling. But of course, by the time Sophia's sister has a baby and then her brother has a baby, and you know, so it's I don't know if Vaz's family has babies, but anyway, by the time her family has kids, he will be pretty old, so he'll be probably past that, and it'll be, you know, what can you give me for my car? What kind of stuff can you buy me gaming? You know, blah blah blah, because he is a gamer and he does that stuff. So he's doing that. But anyway, yesterday to start off, the Thunder took care of business last night in a must-win 50-50 game, and we have talked about that. The Thunder took care of business over the T-Wolves, beating them because we lost them earlier in the year, and I thought we had a chance to get them, but we did not get them there in Minnesota. But Minnesota came here and we put it on them pretty well, 129-106. The T-Wolves still are the number one team in the West at 22-7, and the Thunder are third at 19-9. 3-point percentages: the Wolves were 12 for 27. The Thunder were 18 for 39. The T-Wolves ended up at 46.6%. The Thunder were 60.5. Now at the beginning, the T-Wolves were 63%. So the Thunder D really clamped down on them in the second half, especially in the third quarter there, where they really made a statement to take away, because we were up by 5 at the end of the first quarter, up by 6 at halftime, and then extended the lead to 11 in the third quarter, and that's where we made the difference when it came down to that. And it was a great game by the Thunder. Of course, Josh, it was good seeing Josh get back. And I love the energy from the Thunder early in the game. And then, of course, in the first quarter, when you had SGA, Joe, K-Rich, Chet, and Dort on the floor, that's when the Thunder extended their lead and then got all the way up on them. So I liked what Dagnall did for that. And it just amazes me that, the Thunder is still doing that with SGA. It's amazing. If you saw ESPN last night, all the highlights were SGA. SGA, 34 points in 33 minutes. But the Thunder, once again, first thing off their mouth, and they're real, J-Dub. First person. It just blows me away that the people in that organization think that J-Dub is as good as SGA. I just don't understand it. He is the most disrespected all-NBA guard in the association, without question. It's just it's like everybody understands what he is except the team that he plays for, the coach that he plays for, the organization that he plays for. It's just mind-boggling to me that they actually think that he is on the same level as SGA. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But when you talked about the second quarter, the coach is starting to listen to us a little bit, because he checked in. It was 40-35. To start the second quarter, the Thunder started with Micic, J-Dub, Kaysen, K-Rich, and Wiggins. Chet checked in at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And of course, SGA checked in at 53:48 with 6 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the second quarter. And it's just funny to me. It really is. It's just, this coach is a joke. He is really a joke. He's just, it's funny to me because this is why I say that about him, because it's like when SGA goes in the game in the fourth quarter, they immediately put in their best players. Last night in the fourth quarter, when Anthony Edwards went in, Ant-Man went in, you know who he put in? You know who he put in? Ant-Man went in. He didn't put in. He didn't put anybody. And he waited to 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and then he put in SGA. Now, when we play teams, like when we played the Denver Nuggets, when SGA went in, he put in Murray and Jokic. The Thunder don't do anything. He doesn't learn. But he puts him in a few minutes later. And then, of course, on that point, you snatch out. And J-Dub came in and started the fourth quarter. You had Wiggins, J-Dub, K-Rich, Kaysen, and Micic. And J-Dub hit a couple threes to keep the flow of the offense going. But so what I'm trying to say is I think this coach does understand the flow of the game because he could feel the flow starting to turn. They knock down the three, and he immediately brings SGA in at 7 minutes and 40 seconds. But he also brings in Josh and Isaiah Joe. So all of a sudden you got SGA, Josh, Joe, Chet, and Dort. Great lineup. And the Thunder outscored him 10-5. And it was boom, 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 boom. But it was SGA's 4 points that he scored back-to-back because this is what the rest of the league understands. When SGA gets hot and he's rolling, he's scoring 2 and 3 when he scores 2 or 3 times in a row. They understand that this game, it's over with. Because once he starts scoring, the rest of the team takes it on themselves to play easier. They don't have to push, they don't have to rush, they don't have to do anything. And that's what the rest of the teams understand. And the Thunder players, once he makes a couple in a row, they know, okay, he's rolling. Now this is the crazy stat for SGA. He went 9 for 9. First half he was 5 for 10. He went 9 for 9 in the second half. 9 for 9. But of course, the coach, he made the run in the third quarter to lift us up, to put us up by 11 in the third quarter. Remember, we're up by 5 after the first quarter. We're up by, 6 at the end of the second quarter. And the third quarter is when we made that run when you had, once again, the lineup that I like. K-Rich came out, or Chet came out, and that K-Rich, and it bothered me there in the third quarter because we went smaller because Chet picked up his fourth foul. And it scared me a little bit, but what happened was that team defense with SGA, K-Rich, Dort, Kaysen, and Joe turned up the defense and was slapping balls away because big men were, even though they were bigger than that, as soon as they grabbed a rebound and brought it down, we snatched and stole the ball. And we went on a run. And that was the end of that game. But that being said, what ends up happening to the Thunder is really simple. This coaching staff thinks that J-Dub is as good as SGA or will be. They're high. That tells me, one, either they don't understand basketball and can't evaluate talent, number one. Or number two, they don't want to pay SGA the $400 million they're going to have to pay him in 3 years. Or three, they don't like him or whatever they want. He's not a draft pick of the Thunder. Because remember, when this happened before, when they picked the wrong dude before, which they've done, remember they picked Russell over Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant wasn't the Thunder's first draft pick. Even though the management and the ownership had the team in Seattle, Kevin Durant was their first pick. He wasn't really their first pick because it was kind of like Nathan Taylor of YNB said. I mean, it was either him or who you're going to take. He was the next guy. It's kind of like Chet and, that's totally different because they took Banchero. But that was the same kind of thing. It's like, if you take them, you're going to take him. Okay? That's kind of how it was. So the Thunder got lucky when the fact that they took somebody else. I can't even think of the guy's name. The big guy from Ohio State center. I can't think of his name now. I will in a minute. But anyway, he was the number one pick. They got the pick. And then, of course, Thunder took second. So Russell was their first real pick. So what did they do? When it came down to it, there was a little bit of stuff. They picked Russell over KD. The Thunder fortunes went in the tank. Now, SGA is not a draft pick. J-Dub is. Our coach is a builder of talent. He's building J-Dub. SGA, he has something to do with SGA. I mean, you got to figure that, SGA came in and Sam Presti did a great job of trading for him, and the Clippers did not want to get rid of him, but they wanted Paul George because that's what Kawhi wanted, so they did what they needed to do. So when I look at it, once again, here's the same scenario. You've got the transcendent player in KD, you take your draft pick. You have the transcendent player in SGA, you're taking your draft pick. It's almost like they're the Dallas Cowboys. Look at who we done. This is who we drafted, and that's what it seems to me. So it's one of those three things. Okay, it's one of those three things to me, because the rest of the NBA and the rest of us who understand basketball are like, how the hell can you even remotely think J-Dub is on the same level as SGA? You're high. And a quote was made to me, well, he had 28 the other night. Yeah, well, he might have 12 the next night. Now, he did have 25 last night. He had a good game. But when the game turned was when he went out of the game in the fourth quarter, and you had in the group that I said, SGA, Josh, Joe, Chet, and Dort, they went on a run. Because to me, this is my problem I have with our coach. If you don't understand talent, cool. You are a developer of talent, there's no doubt. But you do show me that you do have some knowledge of the game, because you felt the game last night when they knocked down that three. Okay, this group is they're going to make their run right now. We need to win. Because to me, in 50-50 games, which I've talked about multiple times, 50-50 games are those games that you could win or lose, but you got to win them, especially at home. Those are 50-50 games. We lost the 50-50 game against the Kings twice. We lost a 50-50 game against the Sixers. We lost a 50-50 game against the Timberwolves up there. So we know that we've lost those 50-50 games. Oh, we lost a 50-50 game against the Pelicans. So, and I don't really count the Golden State loss because SJ wasn't here. And like I said before many times, 130, 136, 133. With the lead, 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, and the ball, with SGA, you win the game. Without SGA, you lose the game. That's the difference between J-Dub and SGA. Now, some people say, well, this is his second year. Well, you look at our second year with SGA and what was rolling. The first year we had him with Chris Paul. The next year we didn't. And you can see at the end of the year, what was he rolling? He was rolling. You could see the development. You could see where he's going. You could see the click. That's why last year I said that I want to take the Thunder and what they were going to do. Because you could see the development and what they were going. That's why I said they'd win 40 wins, and they got 40. Only person in the NBA in the United States or the world said the Thunder were going to win 40 games. That would be me. Why? Because of what I see. I don't go by stats. I go by eye test. I go by what I see. And to me, what I see is J-Dub needs to be a number 3. You need coach. Once again, I'm trying to explain it to you since you clearly don't get it. SGA is your man. Chet is your SGA is your Batman. Chet is your Robin. And J-Dub is your third guy. He is that guy that you can bring in and do that. But to me, SGA and Chet together on the floor, they click. And ever since Chet made that statement to SGA about how does it feel to be unguardable, and Chet made the effort to say, forget what the staff is saying, forget what the ownership's saying, forget what this coach people, forget all that nonsense. You the guy, I'm following you. Since Chet has made that decision, he and SJ and the Thunder have blossomed. On the other side, J-Dub is still thinking because of the Thunder coaching staff and administration allowing him to think that. It's like, to me, like last night I was talking about this on After the Storm. Chet takes the ball out of bounds, and J-Dub is here, and SGA is there, and he got ready to pass it to J-Dub and look like that, and boom, pass it to SGA. To my problem, J-Dub, why are you down on this end of the court? Why are you wanting to bring the ball up the court? Why are you fighting to be the man to bring the ball up the court? Because you are fighting to be the man. You're trying to put it like this. This team, between you and SGA, they're going to pick SGA over you every single time. They're going to pick SGA over you every single time. And you watch what the players are with SGA, they immediately give him the ball. When he asks for the ball, they immediately give it to him. You do whatever you're going to do because you think and because of this coaching staff, has allowed you to think you're on the same level as him. And I'm telling all of you people right now, watch. Don't be mad at me. Watch for yourself. Watch the coach and see when he subs in SGA. He'll have 12 points. He's had what? What is he at? 10 plus first quarters, and you sit him for 7 minutes? He needs to be playing 40 minutes a game in 50-50 games. But instead, you're trying to play J-Dub the same amount of minutes to lift him up. He ain't him. And if you think so, the rest of the NBA doesn't. To me, if you really think so, Thunder management, and you really think those, then trade SGA. Go get you a bunch of picks so you can, look at all the picks we're getting for this guy because he doesn't want to be here. Well, clearly he don't want to be there because you're running him off because you ain't playing him the way he should be playing. This coach loses games on purpose, not on purpose, but he loses games because of his style. Of course, he's a minutes manager. He has to stop being a minutes manager. Last night, I could see, okay, look, you obviously know what the floor of the game is because you saw them make a three, and you knew this group you had out there starting the fourth quarter weren't going to make it. And then you bring in SJ, Josh, and Joe, and had Jordan and Chet, and you have all those guys on the court, and you go on a run and put the game away. Third quarter, you have J-Dub is not on the court. You make a run, you put the team away. What is the common denominator? J-Dub is not on the court, SJ and Chet are, and you make a run. It's not rocket science, people. But for whatever reason, the Thunder enjoy saying, look at what I did. I built, this is who we drafted. We drafted really good, and look at what we're doing. Screw all that. Let's go win. I don't care if you go get trade and go get somebody, but he's a Thunder player now. We may not have drafted him, okay, but we're the ones that helped. He's the one that helped us go to the next level, or we're the team that got him to go here, because we're clearly the team that helped SGA get to where he is. Doc Rivers did not want to trade him, but once again, this is the Thunder, and this is what they do. This is what they do. It's just amazing to me you're going to make the same mistake that you made before picking Russell over KD. Now you're picking J-Dub over SGA. Are you kidding me? But all you got to do is look at ESPN. Last night, they talked about the Thunder and what we did against Minnesota, and all they showed SGA highlights. Boom, boom, boom. Think about this, guys. He went 9 for 9 in the second half. He had 34 points in 33 minutes. And here are the stats. This is what I'm talking about right here. So you don't have to go on my deal, but you can just look at the team stats right here. Oh, that's not it. Game stats. That's what I need. Sorry about that. SGA, 33 minutes, 14 for 19. He was 5 for 10 at half. He was 5 for 10 at half. Okay? And he went 9 for 9 the second half. 33 minutes, 34 points. 9 assists, almost had a double-double. 6 rebounds, and once again, 2 steals. Chet, 8 for 13, 3 for 6, 20 points. Jalen Williams, 7 for 11, 4 for 6 from 3. He was hot from 3 last night, which he played really good for 21 points. But once again, the common denominator is that. And then Lou Dort played out of his mind, which thank God Lou Dort did, because we know who knows what he's going to give you. But, guys, look at what they're doing. 14 for 19, 34 points. And what's bad is we think is he has a bad day when he shoots 11 for 23. We're like, man, he had a bad day. 14 for 19, 0 for 3 from 3. And one, like I've said before, once he develops a three-point shot, he is the man. Now, why am I saying this? Because And I'm like, guys, okay, now you're not promoting Chet. You're promoting J Dub because why? The problem is for all the fans that don't understand basketball, the Thunder. Oh, look at the Thunder. They're this and that. For those of us who understand, we're like, what the hell are you doing? That's what those of us who understand basketball. That's what we're saying. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? We don't get it. I don't understand it at all. What the hell you're doing? I don't get it. I just don't. SGA MVP, Chet Rookie of the Year. First team to do that. I don't know what team's ever done that. Now, there is one guy who did both. Wilt Chamberlain, he was Rookie of the Year and MVP, which is just insane. But who's going to do that but him? The modern day game, that's almost impossible to do. Way too many more athletes. You can't. And the two most dominant forces in the league history have been Shaq and Wilt. Just dominant. But the difference is Wilt dominated longer than Shaq. That's why Shaq is not in the top 10 because he only did it for 6 or 7 years because he was too busy trying to be a rapper and be, all this other stuff instead of being concentrating on his craft, which is why he and Kobe went sideways. They should have won 6 in a row, 5 or 6 in a row. They should have. And Shaq would be up there as one of the top 10 greatest players of all time, but because he didn't, which he regrets now, because he wanted to be cool and out in the scene and all that nonsense, which he regrets now, he would be dominant. That's why he's so hard on these young guys and on the league now because he realizes, hey, look, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Don't waste away. Now the Thunder are making a run, which is what I like to see, but at the same time, the Thunder have to continue playing well. And when you look at here's the up-to-date NBA standings in the West. We don't care about the East because we're in the West. The T-Wolves 22-7, losers of 1. The Nuggets 22-10, they're on a 5-game winning streak. The Thunder 19-9, 2.5 games back, winners of 1. The Clippers, winners of 1, are fourth now, have jumped in front of the Kings, who have lost 2 in a row. The Mavericks are really scary without Kyrie, but them and the Clippers are tied, and the reason why the Clippers have an advantage over them is because the Clippers did beat the Mavericks. The Pelicans 17-14, Rockets 15-15 in the 8th place, Lakers 16-15, losers of 1. They killed us, but they did everything they could do to beat us, and they just got beat right after that. They're an up and down team. Are they one of the powerhouses? Yes, but at the same time, I just wonder what's going to happen with them. So the Thunder tonight go against the Knicks, which is a game that scares me. But the Thunder, like we talked about, we went 4-1 in our first 5 games. Remember, guys, we break this down into 10 game increments. And then we have the Knicks tonight, and then at the Nuggets. And the Thunder currently are 18-9. And like I said, at the end of 40 games, at 40 game midway part, I want the Thunder, if we're doing what we should be doing, we should be 28-12. If 28-12, 29-11, 28-10, somewhere around it. But anyway, 28-12, around that is where we should be. If we're 25-15, should be the worst that we could possibly be after 10 games. After 40 games. But if we're 28-12, we're about where I want us to be, and that's where I predicted before the season. But this next game worries me because it's just they're long, they're athletic, and if they're knocking down threes, they're hard to beat. But they give us problems because they are so tall, they are so long, they are so athletic, they are so defensive minded that they're going to give us problems. And my other thing worry is that we shot so well from the floor last night. It scares me what's going to happen tonight. But the Thunder next 2 games between the Knicks and the Nuggets, we figured that they would go 3-2 in this at what I thought that if they go 3-2, I'm gonna be happy. If they're 4-1, I'll be ecstatic. But if we're 3-2, I'm gonna be really happy with this 5-game stint. I said we could be 3-2, we could be 2-3, we could be 1-4 very easily. But I figured we could beat the Clippers. I figured we'd lose to the Lakers. We'd get their full attention. I figured that it was a 50-50 game, depending on what the coach played and what he did, would depend on whether we won or not. But if he played who he wasn't supposed to play and do what he's supposed to do, we would win. And that's exactly what happened in the night tonight. I'm really worried because it's back-to-back, and we shot the ball so well. And hopefully he will get Dort. I could corral him like he had to pull Dort last night because he gave away 2 possessions in a row trying to be a scorer. Dude, stop. They snatched him out the game, which is what you got to do. Look, dude, he almost cost us in Dallas because they're letting him play. Dude, when he goes off the rails like that and he's shooting more than 2 times in a row, you kidding me? Come sit down. We don't need you to score. We need you to play defense. And if you can continue to keep him in his place, I think that will really help what the Thunder are trying to do this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen tonight. Hopefully we can get the deal done, and I think we probably can, and we probably should. So that being said, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. Hopefully they can keep us. They've kept us up and running and doing all the things we need to do. So I appreciate the guys, Russell Williford and those guys over there. If you have any need for computers, if software to customize your office to make it run smoother, or website design, or the thing that I like about it most is that they can come in and fix your network. If something's wrong with your computer, they can remote in. They don't actually have to come into your office and disrupt the flow. They can remote in and fix whatever needs to be done. If they can't, then you can bring it into them. So SRB, if you have needs for engineering, surveying, and planning, Mark Long is the dude to talk to over there. He is my man, and they love to be behind the scenes. Oak Grove Trucking, Jose Fierro, that's my dude. If you have any needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, in fact, I have on his T-shirt or his sweatshirt hoodie today. Holler at my guy, Jose Fierro there at Oak Grove Trucking. Max and Greg Nafee at Nafco, supporting me as they always done, and I appreciate everything they do. And then, of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the OKC area. So we appreciate them doing that for us. If you have any need for online, if you don't like going in and seeing people personally, you can go online and you can pre-qualify at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go in and see them in any of their locations. YNB Main Bank, which is on Elm Street in downtown 401 Elm in downtown Yukon. YNB East, which is off the Parkway in 66. YNB Mustang, which is 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Peoples on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur in Bethany, and then, of course, YNB Parkway. I need to switch this around, by the way. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks Boulevard, just south of I-40. It's really on I-40 in Garth Brooks. You can't miss it. It's just south of I-40 there, right in front of the hospital. Can't miss it. And, of course, DT Construction and Consulting, my guy Drew Henthorn. Give him a guy a shout if you have any needs for roofing or construction or remodeling of any kind. Hit our guy Drew up at DT Construction and Consulting. They also can give you estimates if you're looking at doing something or thinking about doing it. They can do that. Or if you're looking at coming in and flipping a house, they can give you some information on how much it would be to do that. They're respectful, local, and loyal. So contact my guy Drew Henthorn at 405-209-4051. They're respectful, local, and loyal, which means he will answer the phone after they finish the job if something's wrong. DT Construction 2015 out. Look, and then our latest sponsor is Shelter Insurance, the Mark Pemberton Agency, located at 4609 Southeast 29th in Dale City, America. 405-670-2424. Give them a shout. Monday through Thursdays from 9 to 5, Fridays 9 to 1. Closed on Saturdays and Sundays. Proudly serving the Mid-Dale area since 1982. So, in the Big 12, we are now 1-1. We're now 1-1 in, where's my Big 12 stuff at? I know it's in here somewhere. Where's my Big 12? I just passed it. I need to fix my deal so I can push on this thing. In our Big 12 schedules, Big 12 schedule, not NFL schedule. Big 12 schedule, Of course, the Big 12 lost their first bowl game, UCF losing to Georgia Tech on Friday night. Then, of course, last night, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas beat UNLV 49-36 and covered, by the way. And then tonight, of course, you have UNC versus West Virginia, -6.5. And then, of course, the Oklahoma State Cowboys play Texas A&M, and they're -3-point favorites with everybody getting in the portal for Texas A&M. So Oklahoma State is now favorite. That's tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPN. I will be at the Thunder game and then watching the OSU game at the same time. Doing them both is what I'm going to be doing, watching the Thunder game and watching the Oklahoma State game too, while I'm sitting at the bar hanging out my girl Kira there in the Thunderdome. Then, of course, Friday night is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Memphis versus Iowa State, -9.5. -9.5 over under, and that's going to be interesting. And of course, the Texas versus Washington All-State Sugar Bowl is Friday night, -4.5. And then, where is my? I did not have it in there. Huh, that's interesting. And then in the college football schedule, which is shocking, I don't have the OU game. I need to put OU in there. I don't know why I don't have OU in there. That's weird. Friday night is Missouri versus Ohio State. Ole Miss versus Penn State. Georgia versus Florida State. And then, of course, the Fiesta Bowl, Liberty versus Oregon, which everybody's mad at. And then, of course, Alabama and Michigan, and Texas at Washington. I can't believe I did not have the OU Bowl game in there. That is weird. I need to go fix that. I don't know why I don't have that in there. Why don't I have the Big 12 Bowl game in there? That is weird. I should have them in there. I don't know why that is. I'm looking this up to see why I don't have that in here. Why don't I have that in there? That is weird. Why? Oh, I cut it off. That's what I did. Okay. Arizona versus I cut it off. Okay. I just overshot it. That's what I did. Arizona versus OU. I know I had it in there. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Guys, I'm slipping. Yeah, I cut it off right there. That's what it is. I cut it off in there. That's what happened. Okay. I knew I had the OU game in there. I'm like, I've got to redo that, and I'll fix that and get that squared away. But anyway, Arizona versus OU. Oh, I cut it off. That's what I did. I don't know why I did that. That is weird, guys. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, OU plays OU Arizona at OU, which is on Thursday the 28th, which is tomorrow night. OU. Why is that not in there? That is the weirdest thing ever. I don't know why that's not in there. That is just weird to me. I don't know why that didn't pop up. I don't know. I cut OU off for some reason. I don't know. I didn't mean to do that on purpose. You guys know I didn't really mean to do that, but for whatever reason, it got cut off over there. So let me do this, and I'll fix it. I'll fix it up for tomorrow. But anyway, OU plays Arizona State, and I think that OU will handle their business against Arizona State. Let me see if that fixes that. Let me see. Okay, there we go. I was like, hey, I knew I had that. I knew I had OU in there somewhere. Okay. I knew I had it in there. Okay, that messed with my head. But anyway, Arizona versus OU +2.5. Kansas State -2.5 over NC State. That is tomorrow night. So we've got OU tomorrow night and Kansas State in there because Friday, Memphis and Iowa State. Okay, whew, boy, that had me all screwed up for a minute. I knew I had OU in there. So all you OU fans, do not get mad at me for doing that. But OU's +2.5. So we'll see. And I don't know how that is. Anyway, OU should be favored in that game. I don't really get that on how that works, but we shall see. Anyway, okay. Now in breaking news, this kind of I guess it's not breaking news. I mean, really, I mean, the Broncos to bench Russell Wilson for the final two games. Back up Jared Stidham will start, and I really understand why. I'm not against it at all because I get it. I understand that the reason why they're doing that is for the simple fact that it's Jared Stidham. My boy Billy James, text me, Billy. I said he's got a question for me. Go ahead and text me, Billy, if you want to. You have to go to Skype. By the way, guys, I'm going to break in right here. So if you have a question for me, go ahead and Skype me if you do have a question for me. Right here at 405-551-8300. Sorry, we should have did that in the very beginning. 405-551-8300. Or Billy, you have my number, so you can text me on my cell phone, and I will be looking for your question. But if you want to pop it up, go ahead and do that way. But in breaking news, the Broncos to bench quarterback Russell Wilson for the final two games. I get it. It's strictly a money thing. If Russell gets hurt, they're guaranteed him the money for the next year, and they don't want to do that. But the question is, they gave up so much to get him, and in Sean Payton's offense, clearly Russell was okay, and now he's regressed. And after that blow up the other night, I think Sean Payton said, when he's like, I'm gonna have to simplify the offense for Russell. That wasn't a good statement to make about your franchise quarterback right there. So this has been coming for a while. When he signed Jared Stidham, I always wonder, I'm like, why is he signing him to the top? He's the sixth highest paid backup in the league. And when they did that, I'm like, why aren't you taking him? And of course, remember, he was the quarterback at the Raiders. And they took him, and I'm just going, I didn't understand it, but Sean Payton knew. I think this was a calculated risk that if he could not fix Russell Wilson, that he was going to use Jared Stidham. And Russell is not clearly going to be the future of them, and we can see that early. Russell's older. Russell is shorter. Russell can't see over the line. They can't make the plays and run the things that Sean wants him to do. And I just think that his time there in Denver. So he bought that big, huge home, the biggest house in Denver, I believe he and his wife had. But his wife has so much money, it doesn't really matter. They can stay anywhere they want to. But he came in and acting like the NFL, that he was a superstar, a Hollywood guy instead of an athlete, and came back to bite him in the butt. Packers cornerback Zaire Alexander was suspended for one game for contact, detrimental to the team, for going out for the coin toss despite not being a captain and asking to start on offense instead of the coach wanting to defer. And you'll know that offensive coaches always defer. The Chiefs defer to the second half. Most teams win this coin toss. If you have an offensive guy, they would defer to the second half because they want to try to get the ball at the end of the first half, score, and then have the momentum going right out of the second half. The Chiefs do it all the time. So, but the question is, to me, is why did he run out on the court, right on the field, and then for his other players that were out there, why didn't they say, man, what are you doing? Why are you out here? Which I'm sure they probably did, but I don't understand what he's doing. And what that tells me is he's clearly not wanting to be with the Packers anymore, because that's a complete disrespect, not only to his teammates, but to the coach. And then going out and specifically asking for something opposite of what the coach wanted. So that being said, he got suspended for a game and lost the money. And with that big, huge contract, and he hasn't played well this year, but, it is what it is, and the question is, what happens after that? Now, to me, if you disrespect me as a coach like that, for sure, you're gone. So does that mean that the coach has lost the locker room if one of their players is just blatantly disrespecting him on the field? I mean, blatantly disrespecting him on the field. Not partly, but going out onto the field and you're not a captain. Wow. Cannot believe that. I mean, that's just, I don't think I've ever seen that before in sports, where a guy goes out there on the field and does that. And so watch out, Ace. Don't get burned by that light. Watch out. But I don't think I've ever seen that. And of course, Cowboys defensive end has yelled at the officials, talking about he didn't get any holding calls for 38 straight plays. That he has gotten held, but they have not called 38 straight times. He has not gotten a call for holding against him, which is kind of hard to believe. I mean, you would think that one time he would get held as big as a disruptor as he is. You would think that he would. So, but anyway, that was really interesting to see how that played out. Those three things. Breaking news, of course, we figured that Russell was going to happen when they signed Jared Stidham. That was kind of a sign what was the future. And then Jair Alexander, I'm just totally, I don't even know what to think about why he did that. And then the Cowboys, Micah Parsons, that's fine. But the thing that blows me away is the Jair Alexander. What makes, how do you do that? Okay? I mean, how do you go out there and you know you're not a captain? You know. And then you go out there and you completely ask for what the team did not want. And you got suspended for one game. I would have suspended for more than that, but the Packers are in the playoff hunt, so that's why they didn't. But, I mean, you disrespected the coach. You disrespected the coach. You disrespected your teammates because you ran out there onto the field and then asked for opposite of what the coach wanted. I just don't. Could have cost him a possession. Could have cost him, and it didn't. But he got lucky that it didn't because of something probably would have happened. But I just don't understand what he was thinking. So let's look at the NFL schedule. Man, no Monday night games, but it's funny is that the Patriots, and one thing I should point out, the Patriots got flexed out of a Monday night game. And Robert Kraft is very instrumental in NFL scheduling. And his team got flexed out. Now, to me, what does that mean for Bill Belichick? Is he going to be the coach next year? How far have they fallen? Jets and Browns tomorrow night. Browns minus 7.5 point favorites, over under 35. Once again, a Thursday night game that who's going to really care about. Saturday, the Lions against the Cowboys. Cowboys minus 6 point favorites. At home, which we know that the Lions are great. At home, Cowboys equally as good. At home, over under 53.5. That game will be on ABC and ESPN. Sunday games, boy, we got to load up. Patriots and the Bills, huge game. Patriots coming off a big win over the Broncos. Bills minus 12. They've got to win. They have no choice, but they've got to win, especially this is a in-conference game. They got to get this a conference game. They've got to get this done. Over under 40.5. I think that's a lot for those two because the Patriots defense is really, really good. Bill Belichick is great defensive mind. There's no question. Falcons and the Bears. The Bears minus 3. Over under 38. 12 o'clock on CBS. I think the Bears will handle their business. I think that oh my God, what is his name? Fields is playing a lot better, and I think if they get him a quarterback, I think that will make a huge, huge, huge difference. Raiders and the Colts, I don't really care about that game, minus 3.5. The question is, do you keep your coach? I'd like to hear what my guys have to say about that in their comments. When I get a chance to get on those guys, probably tomorrow. There at the bank, I have my guy there with me tomorrow at YNB, Nathan Taylor. Rams and Giants. Rams should handle their business. Giants plus 4.5, over under 43. And Cardinals versus the Eagles. Eagles, I think the Eagles will beat the Cardinals. I'm hoping they beat the Cardinals. I got a couple players on my fantasy, so they need to step up big. Minus 10.5 at home. They have not played well the last 6 or 7 weeks, but they keep getting wins. I don't know what that means. I don't think they're playing their best going into playoffs, which I think is going to hurt them. Saints versus the Buccaneers. Tell you what, Baker Mayfield, kudos to you, brother. You have played really, really well, and I hope you can get your 4-year extension and make some money because you deserve it. You have saved the Buccaneers this season. Buccaneers minus 3, over under 42. Niners and the Commanders, I think the Niners are just going to kill them, especially after what happened. Brock Purdy, I think, will come up and have a big game because I think that he embarrassed himself, 4 interceptions. A couple of them were on him, no doubt. The one interception got his arm hit, so I don't know about that so much, but a couple of those were definitely him trying to throw sidearm across your body, across the field. He does not have the arm strength to do that. Panthers and Jaguars. Jaguars minus 6.5. I don't know if Trevor's going to play, how well they're going to be, but he has not. He's been hurt this last 5 games, 4 games, 5 games. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Dolphins, anyway, the Jaguars minus 6.5 point favorites at home, over under 38. Dolphins and the Ravens. Man, Ravens, will they have a letdown after doing what they did to the 49ers? I think probably so. That's just me and my thought process. I think they're going to have kind of a letdown. That's just me. -3 at home, over under 47. I think the Dolphins got to win. They got to get another win against a good team. Cowboys, the other day, I think the Cowboys don't fumble on the opening drive. Giving the ball to a fullback who's not used to carrying the ball, but you still got to hold on to it, do you in the NFL. Titans and Texans, don't really care. -4.5, over under. Don't really care about that game. Steelers and the Seahawks, Geno's Pizza, even though he's not the quarterback. Steelers and Seahawks. Seahawks are -3.5 point favorites. Steelers got to get the quarterback situation fixed. The question is, do you keep Mason Rudolph again? I think you do. Mason is a good backup. He's not necessarily a starter, but I think he can come in and give you 3 or 4 games, maybe 5 games, but he can't sustain you over a season. Chargers and the Broncos, -3, Stidham's first start. The Chargers, they're just a dumpster fire right now. I think the Broncos definitely should win this game. -3, over under 37.5. I'm gonna take them because I think with a new quarterback, new system, I think they're gonna roll up some points there. Bengals and the Chiefs. Chiefs are struggling. If the Chiefs just don't turn the ball over, they win the game against the Raiders. They lost, was it 20-14, and they gave them 14 points. Take care of the basketball. Take care of football. Chiefs -7, over under 44.5 there. I know this teams will not look the same next year. I can promise you that. Packers and the Vikings -2, over under 46.5. So anyway, that's what I'm on the Chiefs though. Our guy Matt. I'm sorry about Matt Moyer. Sorry about it, bro. Sorry about your team, but I think the Chiefs. The whole thing was, it started out with Chris Jones holding out. Kadarius Toney. First of all, the first thing was Chris Jones. Then Kadarius Toney, with the ball going through and saying the sign of what was going to happen all year long with the pick 6 to lose the game against Detroit. Because you take those points away, Detroit gets beat. Chris Jones signs. I believe they had every intention of signing DeAndre Hopkins, but because Chris Jones holding out with his new agents and what they were doing just dumbfounds me. And I think those two things caused the Chiefs. Really, the first thing was Chris Jones. The season dominoed after that. They cut the legs out from under the Chiefs right from the beginning. Now, the defense has been magnificent, but you can't get away from the little thing, excuse me, that I think it cost the Chiefs by not having DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sorry, guys. If you have Hopkins, I think sorry about that. I'm still trying to get over the sickness thing. If you have DeAndre Hopkins, I think the Chiefs handled their business, and they would not have lost that game, would not have lost to the Raiders. They'd probably be undefeated. They would have beat the Eagles because they would not have dropped the pass. They would have, Sky Morris dropped, cost some games. So those are 3 games I know that they would not have lost right there. So we'll see what happens with the Chiefs and see what they're doing. So that being said, the Thunder game, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm still not feeling all that great. I'm trying to get better. But the Thunder tonight, Knicks at home against the Thunder. The Thunder are -3 point favorites. The over/under is 240. And I hope the Thunder can, like I said, it just makes me nervous watching them because I don't know exactly what's going to happen in that game. Coming off the fact that we did have a huge game last night. We're emotionally high. and we knocked all those threes down, and then we're playing the Knicks, and so it's naturally going to be a letdown, kind of like with the Ravens. I was saying with the Ravens game against the Dolphins, simply because there's going to be a letdown after the high against what they did against the 49ers, and then you got to come back down and play. So you got to get yourself back up, and this is the league, so hopefully they can, and we shall see what's going to happen. So that being said, everybody have a fantastic day. Stay warm.